cybersecurity a major concern for everyone who owns a smartphone or a PC?
Yeah, as so much of our personal, business, and government information is online, the potential danger from scammers and hackers has never been worse.
Last year, suspected Russian hackers scored a major coup by infiltrating federal agencies, major companies, hospitals, universities. And just this week, Sinclair broadcasting stations were hit by hackers who infiltrated computers and are now demanding ransom.
So the question is, how vulnerable are we? And here to talk about that is Laura Brent. She is a fellow in technology and national security at the Center for a New American Security.
Laura, good morning to you. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
So let me get to the first question right now, and it may just be a broad one. How vulnerable is America to hackers out for themselves or working for hostile countries, for example?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And as you noted in the lead-in, there are a lot of attacks happening. We have seen significant amount of malicious cyber activity. So the answer is, we certainly are vulnerable, but that doesn't mean there aren't things we can do, that we can continue to improve resilience and defense of our biggest companies, that we can look to the government to work with international partners to hopefully disrupt, ransomware games, for example. And so there are a lot of things that we can continue to do and make progress.
Okay, we'll take a look at some of those tips in just a little bit. But earlier this month, a top Pentagon cybersecurity official quit, saying China is way far ahead of the U.S. in artificial intelligence capability. But do you see it as being that bad?
I think it's a fair question to ask where our competitors are, where our potential adversaries are in comparison to us. I think, though, when thinking about cyber capabilities or any advanced technology capabilities, that it's a complex picture. It's not necessarily just one specific technology, but what is the innovation ecosphere? What is our ability to integrate those technologies? What's actually our resilience to the attacks of others? What kind of human capital challenges might we or others have to really get the top technical talent, both in the private sector and in the government? So I think for all of that is to say, these are huge challenges, that cybersecurity, that technology are not just necessarily issues for the technical or nerd community, but really issues for all of us.
Yeah, I think it could get super complex for people, right? And it might even sound like white noise at times for people. Yeah. But then you hear the thing like of a hacker taking over a specific company and asking for ransom, right? Taking over computers of that company, and that may resonate with some folks. So what can a company or a person do to combat that kind of activity?
That's really important, that we often talk about the threat, but there are things that you can do today to make yourself safer. So one easy thing to do is turn on two-factor authentication for every account that you can. So what does that really mean? So you're used to probably logging into your things with a username and a password. So that's one factor. Now, though, often you can add a second factor to make sure that you are the owner of that account. So that can be a text message or an email with a code that you just use one time. And that makes you safer because even if someone manages to steal your password, they need also access to your email or your text messages to be able to get into your key accounts. Number two is be suspicious, that especially with unexpected communications, really ask yourself, does this seem legitimate? And then three, before you act on any of those potentially suspicious communications, investigate. So let's say that you get an email that seems like it might be from your bank and saying you have to log in right away to approve a transaction.
What about some of those basic security software companies? They're selling different subscriptions. What about those? Are those worth investing in?
So I think this really depends perhaps on your individual situation, what exact computer you have, what exactly you're doing. But I think that it's important to remember that any piece of software you add, especially a piece of security software, will have serious access to all of your computer. Right. So if that is in fact insecure, that's actually another point of risk. So my real tip would be make sure that you're always updating your software when you get notifications on your phone or your computer to update to make sure that it's patched and less vulnerable. And if you do decide that you want further protection, to go with well-known, well-reviewed legitimate companies.
Right.
Yeah.
Really great advice. Thank you so much, Laura Brent from the Center for a New American Security. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.